I get it.
So the answer is tequila.
It's my answer.
Tequila.
My answer to a lot of questions.
Tequila.
It's a wild card that I use.
Oh, I have not been recording this entire time.
That's good. That's good.
So I'm going to start recording.
You start recording?
Yes.
And like pretend to smile at the beginning and then yeah.
How's that?
There we go.
How's that for acting?
Pretend like you haven't been pissed off for the last fucking hour. I'll try not to piss you off the next hour.
I don't know if it'll take an hour to talk about 10 chapters.
It just depends on what kind of rabbit hole you go down, I feel like.
That is super true.
Because you can talk about 3 sentences of a book for an hour and a half if it's a good 3 sentences. You're not going to get that out of this book.
No.
I don't feel like that.
No, you're not.
So you want to like do a little intro? Are you recording right now?
Yeah, just started. Just started recording.
Alright, well you want to do a little intro as to what you are and what you represent?
What I am and what I represent. I represent the truth.
The truth.
The truth. The truth for all of us.
Truth about smut.
The truth about smut.
Bare bones.
The
naked truth.
All the spoilers. You don't have to do Twitch. The way I have a software set up where it allows me to stream on multiple platforms at once. The platforms I'm currently using are Twitch and YouTube. So you can get on either of them at Spilling My Usual Tea and access the lives on either site.
Is that spillingmyusualtea.youtube.com?
You know, it should just be
or is it youtube.spillingmyusualtea.com? Or you just look it up?
You just look it up. I'm sure there's a way. If there's a will, there's a way that I'm not privy to currently because I am old.
So we're just gonna try to do it and then figure out how to do it later.
Pretty much.
Okay, that makes sense.
I was trying to learn how to do it. I've been researching it every day between everything else I'm doing, but we are starting off with what tea did I pick today? Honey and lemon.
Nobody has seen any of your stuff, so you might want to like show everybody your stuff.
You mean like my shelf?
Take a moment.
This is my shelf. These are my teas. These are my books.
So far.
There's Pocoroso.
There's Pocoroso. That's my Pocoroso. Guess now it's your Pocoroso.
I found Pocoroso in a box, and so I put them on a shelf.
Yeah, my box.
Put them on a shelf.
I had it in the box.
It was in the box with
that, yeah.
With this.
Where I put all the 3D prints that Robert makes. Robert Brooks, if you need 3D prints. If he had a website, I'd put the link in the comments like people do on nowadays. Nowadays people put links in comments.
Links in comments. People can like, subscribe, and share.
Oh, what?
Oh.
We've got something that people can like, subscribe, and share to.
You could.
Almost.
If you wanted to. Alright. There are no saints. Which you have finished, right?
Yeah, I read a while back.
And I just started. Let me pull this up.
Because I do my assignments on time.
It's not due for another 2 weeks.
Yeah, and bear in mind that this isn't. You leave a lot of stuff out. You can't assume that everybody knows what's going on. This is a vajazzled version of There Are No Saints.
I bought this copy, and then I spent...
For the strictest purposes of vajazzling.
For the purpose... Actually, it was for this, so I could have a physical copy while I sit and talk about it.
Vajazzled copy. But when did you vajazzle that? You need to give some people
Last week.
Backstory. You did it before
your
friend came over?
I did do it before my friend came over. I had a friend come over, and we bedazzled other books. I have... Let's see. I do have... This one I bedazzled while she was here. This one's minimal. my most impressive one is, if I can find it. Oh, here it is. And this whole one is Vajazzle.
You have to, like, I've noticed on the camera when you show that off, you can't really tell. You see?
I can get closer.
Yeah. And, like, turn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spent a lot of time on that one.
I did. Probably too
That
much
was the
then.
one that we bejazzled at
A novel romance.
a novel romance.
So is this
here
one.
in Louisville.
Here in Louisville, Kentucky.
And name drop them. That's the squeak one I did. I haven't read yet.
No one's read.
Yeah, it looks like it's a quick read.
I would hope so.
Yeah,
With it.
it's a thin boy.
Thin. It's a Weedo baby. It's only 50 pages.
Well, I mean, isn't it like balloon animal smut?
Yes, I think so. I'm not
Yeah.
really positive
Well,
as to what it is.
I'll read it here this week, and then we'll talk about it in the next one.
The idea is we have a book group called Sneaky Wink on Facebook.
Yeah.
And every month we choose a book and we read it and then get together and discuss bits and pieces and kind of general themes, but we don't really do any kind of deep dives into the novels. Ish.
It's just really hard to keep up with because you got like 6 chicks all sitting around a table all talking at the same time.
Drinking. We're all drinking.
And drinking Jello shots, so it's not an ideal situation for information takeaways.
That's true. So we are going to start deep diving into the books that we're reading, just you and I, or I guess
I think that you should didn't have to be you and I every time. I mean, I could be here in the
It's
background just to like keep, because you guys get in your head and you're like, oh yeah, that's cool, and you forget to talk.
Oh.
So
I mean, I'm not
think
gonna
you
deny
could
that.
probably fit another one of you guys back there. There's some stuff around. You could fit another one of you guys back there, and you could both be on camera.
On my lap.
Yeah, they could sit on your lap, sit behind them, caress them,
Mm.
braid their hair.
Braid
But I feel
your
like,
hair.
you don't have to have me in every one of them. You don't have to have me in any of them. I'm just trying to get it moving because at some point you got up and left. So
I was frustrated. I didn't want to say something I was going to regret later.
okay.
So, if you don't have anything nice to say, you walk away. Don't say.
Of the live camera, you walk away from the live camera.
You were getting in behind the chair.
Okay. But anyway.
Anyway.
So we decided that instead of doing like the book group, which we still do,
Mm-hmm.
that maybe at least like somebody's opinion might be heard and understood and possibly agreed with if it was more of an intimate smut reader setting.
Intimate smut reader setting.
So that's what we're doing now. We're basically just going to give I have like countless theories about women that read smut that will come up at some point. Maybe
They always do. They always do.
come. So my theories will get tested. My opinions will be rebuked,
That is so true.
and hopefully you'll be able to like do some explaining. We might be able to use this as like a thing for people who are new to like reading romance novels, because what I've noticed after I burp, what I've noticed is that a lot of women, they're reading romance novels and they don't even realize it. Because I'll be like, they got a group that reads smut, and they're like, oh, I don't read smut, and I'm like, well, have you read Fourth Wing? Yeah.
Well, that's, yeah.
Yeah, you read smut.
But
You
I
just
mean,
don't.
but it goes onto that fine line as to what is smut and what is romance.
That's not a fine line at all.
I think it is.
If it has,
Or it just depends on the person. If
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think smut is smut. Romance is. I think romance and smut are synonyms.
I mean, yeah, that kind of are, but it just depends on what do you classify you as a reader, what do you classify as smut? Do you classify it as a book that just has sex? Do you classify it as a book that is just about the sex?
But that's where I'm trying to get rid of like some of this
the stigma,
ambiguity about who's reading smut and who's not, because you're probably reading smut. You probably are. You just don't realize it because this is just a cool fantasy novel where there's romance.
Right.
If there is romance in a fantasy novel, it is smut. Because without the romance, guys would read it.
Sure. I mean, guys still read these ones.
If it's not like Aragon or Lord of the Rings or something by Robert Jordan, what is that? Wheel of Time?
I have no idea.
Those aren't smut. Those are fantasy novels. If your fantasy novel focuses on the interactions of two people and their love interests, that is smut. It is fantasy. It's romantasy.
Romantasy.
Yeah.
But then again, that's the thing of going into romance versus smut. People think that there's a big distinction.
There's not.
It depends
I feel
on
like
the
for the
person.
purposes of this whatever this is, what would you call this?
I don't know.
This vlog. For the purposes of this, I'm not going to try to differentiate between the two. It's smut. It's all smut.
Smut.
Yeah, because I feel like we're going to get down in the mud about definitions a lot, and I feel like that a lot of people try to hide, maybe not hide, but differentiate their opinions from other people's by using semantics, and I feel like that's a cop out to me. It's not a crime to like things that other people like.
No, it's not.
You're not an unoriginal person because you like things that other people like.
Correct.
You don't have to focus your individuality on the things that you do. You have to focus to me. This is me like I'm getting up on a soapbox. But your individuality to me is internal, and I feel like if you're using like the things that you do as a checklist for your originality, you're just gonna disappoint yourself. Because I don't consider myself a smut reader. I don't consider myself a fantasy reader. I don't consider myself a tattoo artist. I don't consider myself. I don't consider myself a guy who makes sublimation crap and sells it on Etsy. That's not who I am. I'm just me.
Okay,
So I feel like women and men, the men who aren't watching this, I feel like women, they get your source of individuality and your sense of self from yourself, and then but don't try to like make the things you do who you are, because if you do that, then what ends up happening is if you're like smut reader incarnate, you don't really listen to people when they talk, because when somebody attacks your smut, it makes it feel like they're attacking you, because you're a smut reader and you feel like you have to defend yourself to them. And I don't feel like that should be the case. Yeah, people can have opinions about smut if they want them. That doesn't have any effect on who you are as a person and your personality.
Right.
So I should be able to say, okay, all romance is smut, and you shouldn't have. I mean, you're going to, but you shouldn't have to feel a certain way about it.
I mean, I don't.
It's not like It's not like I'm telling you that any romance you have is sex. I'm not telling you that as a person. But if you try to like label yourself as a romance reader, then that's the way that you're tempted to feel about it every time somebody attacks romance, and it gets attacked a lot. You've got half the population that are shitting on it most of the time.
I just think that when I think about books I've read, what the difference for me is, I'm like, this is a romance novel. And then I'm like, this is a smut novel. And it isn't. Oh, I could smell the tequila.
You like that, don't you?
Oh,
Coming at
no.
you. Now you can go smell it when I talk to you.
No, drink that Canada Dry and maybe I won't.
But I get it. That's why they have spice levels.
Well, but that's the thing. It's like, is it depending on the spice level? It depends on if it's a smut or a romance book.
Then you missed the point. Smut
but that's what I'm saying.
You just say smut and romance are the same thing, and they all have spice levels.
Okay, I mean you can.
Because I'm going to say smut a lot. I feel like that it applies a lot more often to the books that we're reading because there are very few women I'm not going to say there's very few women, but there's very few women in our little book group that want to read stuff with no spice in it.
Right. Well, I think it also comes down to how detailed the spice is.
That's why you just like, okay, we read this book. Spice meter goes from 1 to 5. It's a 3.
Well, yeah.
And we'll discuss why.
But I mean,
we can talk about why.
That's the point of this. That's the point of this.
Yeah.
This vlog or whatever you want to call it.
This isn't going to be like one of those
deep dive into these.
It's
into these
not going to be one of those loved it, hated it type situations.
No,
it's going to be like I didn't like it, and this is why.
So
and if you have a different opinion about it, drop
that's
it.
That's fine. Yeah. Leave a comment. As we get through this, but it's just going to be one of those things. And so we started out, this first of the year, this is January, Sneaky Week is going to be officially 1 year old at the end of this month.
It's a baby.
It's a baby.
It's old for a book club, though.
It's
Usually
old
they
for
only
a
make
book
it
club.
Weeks.
Yes. So
that's because we have awesome members.
We do.
That is completely like
it's
diehard
very
members that are willing to show up and do the deed and bring chips and
chips.
They enjoy themselves and it's hard to find a group of people who all like to do the same thing that are willing to make an appearance.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that anybody's better than anybody else because they show up every single time. That's not the case. But we have enough members of the book group to where it keeps the book group afloat. Whereas, like, if you have, like, a D&D campaign where you got, like, 5 people playing, you'll be lucky to get that thing going once every 6 months. But these people have been, like, showing up every single month. They vote every single month.
Yep.
They show up and they do their votes.
They post the memes on the Facebook page.
They post their memes. They put names in a hat.
Yep.
They'll show up. They'll read a book they don't like.
Yep. Just to bitch about it.
It's not just a bitch. I don't feel like it is just a bitch about it because if they just wanted to bitch about something, they could bitch about their day. But they'll read the book that they don't like because it's part of their book group and they have some loyalty to their book group. And I think that's really cool.
You'll have to excuse me every time I yawn. I got up early.
Every time I burp tequila.
Oh God. I done did myself hard liquor for the rest of my life, I think. Yeah. But we, circling back to the book group, this book of the month is There Are No Saints by Sophie Lark.
Uh-huh.
And
how would we categorize this as far as like genres or tropes go?
This, I would think, dips into dark romance.
It's dark romance.
It's got some unalivers in it.
It's a complicated enemies to lovers.
I mean,
it's a complicated.
Again, I've only read up to chapter. I read through chapter 10.
But you know the relationship with the female lead and her relationship with the male lead, and it wasn't like one of those things where she met him and didn't like him, and he was cool enough to where she decided that she did like him. That wasn't the case at all.
Well, so let's start getting into this. Let's start deep diving into the first couple chapters, the first few chapters.
We could do like some cliff notes on some stuff.
This is why I wanted the physical book. I might have to get more physical books.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, so the first thing I want to say, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I am not a fan of the art. And not like I think it's bad art.
We didn't even have to bring that up.
Nope, I did. I had to. It takes up a whole fucking page.
Okay, well, okay.
It's not, and before you interrupt, it's not about like art quality. Like it could be Van Gogh on this page. I just don't think it's necessary.
You don't like it in the book?
I just don't think it adds anything to the book.
You're right. You're right. It doesn't. In fact, if it were, if
it's a little bit more distracting,
and that gets into the same kind of problem that I have with my Etsy store, is that women don't like to be shown what they're reading. They don't want to see. They don't want a picture of what they're reading. They have something imagined in their mind.
Yeah.
And anything outside of what they've imagined in their mind is offensive to them while they're reading. They don't need a picture book. They don't want it. So do they get bonus points for going to the trouble of putting these pictures in their book? Yeah. Was it necessary? No. Was it welcome? Also no.
I mean, it could be welcome for some people. It's just not. Yeah. It's just not for me. And I just wanted to throw that out there because I feel like as I skip, it's just like you can't miss them. Because it's every chapter, every other chapter that you have one. So,
well, like as an artist, I find myself being distracted from the book and critiquing the artwork.
Yeah,
and it's a distraction. It's a distraction
and
from the book.
It's
and it
not.
Slows it down.
It's not just one of those things where it's like only in the physical copies. It's also on the ebook.
And it doesn't need it.
No.
I mean, it's not an amazing book.
It might be more of a distraction on the ebook than it is in the physical book.
But it's not an amazing book, but it's a good enough book where you shouldn't have to put pictures in it.
Right.
It keeps your attention.
The book, not the pictures. I had to get halfway through chapter 2 or 3 before I had to get to chapter 3, the beginning of chapter 3, before I gave a shit about the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care.
I've seen that that setting many times before. Women like to when they write, they like to have
no art and audio.
Huh? Yeah. No art and audio. But they like to have like an artistic setting. They like to describe art. They like to describe pretty things.
Oh shoot! I'm gonna start taking a nap.
And I think what a lot of that was that you've seen that setting before in books, and it was boring. You read it before and it's boring. But I think it could have, like, I'm not gonna say shortened it, just made it a little more interesting, focused more on the characters.
So, you go in, first chapter is from Cole's perspective, right?
Yeah.
And you learn pretty quickly that him and his rival, Alistair Shaw, are unalivers.
Is that what we have to say?
I think so.
Oh, we're gonna get shut down if we don't say unalive. Can we cuss?
We can cuss. You just can't say things like
other than unaliving.
Mm-hmm.
What else do I have to code? Anything having to do with like
violence,
violent things?
Like okay. Super things that could be triggering or.
Okay, so no triggers.
I mean,
it's gonna be hard for us to talk about books.
I don't think so. I think we'll be just fine.
You're gonna be just fine.
I'm not drinking tequila.
But yeah, they're unalivers.
And
for lack of a better term.
With the love of Pete, my first question in this book while I was reading was, well, how did they one, come to know each other, and two, find out about each other's hidden talent, or whatever you want to call it?
I think that's easier
hobby.
To explain than you think it is.
Well,
for one thing, they're both in the same art community.
True.
And you can smell your own, especially psychopaths.
That's also true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
It kind of takes one to know one.
Yeah.
It does later say something about college. That Cole briefly mentions something about Alistair in school. So I'm assuming they knew each other beforehand. Again, like I only read through chapter 10, like I said I would.
And they're both nosy bitches too.
They're
both
all
perfectly willing to go spy on somebody and root through their stuff. So it didn't take long for them to find out about each other, even if they didn't know before.
That's true. Yeah, they could just get curious. But let's get on to the female main character.
You didn't even you haven't described the setting at all.
The setting is in San Francisco. in the art community. I thought we had already talked about the art community.
You can like describe the character a little bit. He's like a pseudo-famous artist. He's got money because of it. He probably had money before that.
It had said in here that the Blackwells, because the main male character's name is Cole Blackwell, and that he comes from money. So he's had money. Now, it did say that Alistair Shaw
did not.
Good lord. And he's from middle class. And Cole thinks that pisses him off.
I feel like they kind of did his character dirty.
Who, Alistair's?
Yeah, I feel like they kind of did his character dirty because they gave him like, and that's a cop out that I see a lot in these books. They just like give this person all the attributes that you love to hate, so you don't mind if they get killed.
I think
he's tacky. His art isn't good. He's a jealous person. He's violent.
I have Ted Bundy vibes. Who's the one at the car? Yeah, Ted Bundy. That's who I get from Alistair, is Ted Bundy vibes. Like, he's attractive. He's charismatic when he wants to be, but he's quickly escalating. He's quickly escalating and going off the rails.
But he's also unrefined. He paints his work as being unrefined.
But I think that's what he is trying to do, the whole calling card, this is my shit thing. Everyone's got a style that they try to...
It felt like it was that guy was put in place to show a contrast between a good unaliver and a bad unaliver. What do you mean,
I mean, it's like, I don't know if I would say good unaliver or bad unaliver. I think it's just...
One of them has refinement, and the other one does not. And that's a question that you might be able to answer as a woman. Is that something that women desire in a villain character?
Refinement?
Do they need that refinement?
It's the control.
Self-control?
I think so.
Alright. And now your female lead, who's somehow less interesting. They almost treat her like a side character.
I hate her.
You don't like her at all?
I still don't like her. Even after 10 chapters.
If you don't like her, then you're not going to like her. Because she doesn't get better. She's almost the author kind of treats her as like a canvas to throw paint at through the entire book. But anyway,
Ugh.
But she's an artist also. She's young and up and coming, and she's poor, and she's got
she's a starving artist.
Yeah.
Starving. She is the textbook fucking description of a starving artist. Fucking attic apartment, lives with a bunch of roommates, has no fucking money, has like 3 jobs.
If we're watching what we say, you may not want to use fucking as an adjective or adverb.
Maybe.
Okay, I'm just throwing it out there for you.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, so it doesn't even...
But she also has background. She comes from like an abusive house.
I don't know any... You have to chill what you can say, because...
We're sitting here just dumping spoilers on everybody else, but you're like, don't say anything. I haven't read that far yet.
This video is supposed to go through just chapters 1 through 10, yeah.
All right,
that's
well
what
then
it is.
I'll just say that they get farther into her, the reason why she is the way she is, as her character develops, because the author was forced to explain why she is like she is, because if you have somebody who's into that BDSM lifestyle, for lack of a better term, then they usually have to have a reason for it.
Some kind of trauma response. Yeah. I can see them using the kidnapping and shit as her trauma response.
Oh, that wasn't her first rodeo. That's how she got through it.
Well, let's see. That's farther on in the book.
Yeah, she wasn't just like. And it kind of made it seem that way. That's where things like this can get kind of confusing, because you're like, how is she able to do that? No, I think it's a strong case of disassociation, which is normal. As unbelievable as her... I feel like we're kind of getting ahead, but
a little bit. So Cole looks at her, gets
Can
caught.
you explain what happens?
I'm trying to.
Okay.
So they're at a gallery. She shows up as at this point you don't even know who her character is yet. You're still in Cole's point of view.
Yeah.
He sees her, kind of clocks her, makes a comment about her. His rival Shaw sees him looking at her, and is like, "Oh, you're into her," blah blah blah. And from there, you can kind of tell Shaw's gonna do something to this girl because he thinks Cole is into her, and that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
And within the next chapter, by chapter 3, Shaw has kidnapped Mara, right?
Uh-huh.
Off of the sidewalk, headed home.
Yeah.
She was walking by herself.
The old smash and grab.
Smash and grab. Drives her out to Cole's dumping grounds. Like, close to his dumping grounds.
Explain what his dumping grounds are.
It's like a mine, I think.
Yeah, that's where he puts the remnants of his unalivement.
Yeah. So, for Cole to find, Cole sees her.
Yeah, at that point she was supposed to be a body.
Yes, but she wasn't a body yet.
Yeah,
she was struggling.
And that's
holding on.
That's probably like the weirdest part of the book. That's kind of the part of the book that I kind of liked. Because he ran up on her, saw her in his path, did some cold calculations about what was going on there, came to a pretty good conclusion about it.
Yeah.
And then that was an opportunity for the author, I feel like, to demonstrate what kind of that he was actually a psychopath. He wasn't like
he wasn't just gonna fall in love
with
her.
He wasn't a lovey-dovey dude. So
he was like, it would be my best interest not to fucking touch this, and walked away.
She was laying there bleeding out.
Yeah,
she was laying there bleeding out, actively dying, and she was coherent. He looked her in the eye.
Yeah, he did.
And stepped over her and left.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And I read that and I was like, you know what? That makes fucking sense. It makes sense that he would be like, I'm not touching this.
It makes sense without fucking.
Anyway. It made sense.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, her being able to survive wasn't that strange.
What?
And I say that for this simple like explanation is that there have been famous cases of women surviving brutal attacks like that.
Yeah.
Like,
or people.
Yeah, just like people
like
in general.
Bear attacks
so
and stuff like that.
It does fucking happen. Now,
it also just normally happens. I love you.
Am I gonna make her mad or am I gonna make her laugh? It's gonna be both.
But yeah, that's what happened. He just stepped over under the assumption that she was dead. But that's what I'm saying.
That there was no saving her.
She had a trained, experienced psychopath encounter her on the path. See her and think to himself, she's a goner. Don't even have to worry about her. I'll let the cops come get her later. And that kind of speaks for like her resilience, I guess, because she had a guy that sees death and knows it. Think, well, she's a goner, and then he walked off, and then after she's like, oh, she couldn't really believe what was going on. She expected him to be like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Yeah.
And he didn't do that. He just left her there.
And she believed at that point, later on, when she looks back on it, that he might not have existed. Because up until that point, regardless...
Or if he did exist, that was because she didn't see the actual person's face that took her.
Well, but she says in between chapters 1 and 10, I don't know exactly which one, that she kind of knew from the footfalls, or his footsteps, that it wasn't the same person.
But she wasn't convinced.
No. She wasn't sure. She wasn't even sure he was real.
Yeah, because she'd lost so much blood that... Can we say blood?
I think so.
Okay.
We'll find out.
She'd lost so much blood or whatever that she was on the verge of hallucinating anyway.
Yeah, she was hallucinating.
And it was kind of an obscure thing for somebody to see you in distress and then just completely ignore you and go on their merry way.
To be like, in her state. And I did appreciate the use of her using the duct tape to try and stop the bleeding from her wrists. She did attempt. It was brief. It was briefly noted in that chapter where she's trying to get to safety, and I'm like, that makes sense because you're like, how do I stop bleeding? How do I get? Where am I? How do I get to civilization?
She stumbled on, and she probably should have died or unalived or whatever people do on YouTube. Yeah, she probably should have, but she didn't. And anyway, long story short. It's like whenever I was a kid when I'm not going to go into that because it's super graphic and traumatic, but it's a story it's not a story for the internet. But it's basically you're just like, well, that one's a goner, and then miraculously later on
they survive. She survived.
He what is she doing? She didn't not only survive, she went back to work.
And that, when he becomes obsessed with her, because he's like, I know that bitch should have died. I know she was on death's door, and I'm watching her work, and she's laughing. Yeah. It, blew his mind. And that makes sense to me why she would then become an obsession. Yeah. Now, the whole...
Because he wasn't super into her. He didn't think she was good looking.
No.
Wasn't his type. Mm-mm. He was kind of repulsed by her in the beginning. Yeah. So it kind of it became more of it wasn't an obsession based on oh my God, she's so beautiful, which happens a lot in these books. The guy has zero motivation to be attracted to this person, but they somehow do. Mm-hmm. But this wasn't the case. The more that he watched her doing what she was doing, the more that she started to resemble qualities that he found admirable. Yeah. And so it made his character's obsession with her believable, which I appreciate because you never see that in these books. You're just like, why is this guy chasing this millionaire, chiseled, sharp-jawed, high cheekboned, abs, billionaire, entrepreneur.
Why does he?
Why is this guy chasing after this basic ass chick?
It's crazy, but it made sense. And then what was it? At what point? It was like he wasn't sexually aroused by her. Until he realized, I guess in my perspective, until he realized that she was suffering from the nightmares. When he saw that shit underlined in those books next to her bed when he broke into her room. And then he was like...
And that's why you get that, because that's what he's into.
Yeah, because that's what he's into.
He's like,
so it's, again, it's not, suddenly she's so hot, because...
it seemed to me like he was like, oh my gosh, this chick seems like somebody that can take some abuse.
Yep, I can break her.
And I am the guy for her. And that's the way, that's where his obsession started. And it made me read the book. A lot of these books, I'm just struggling through it. But he had some effeminate thoughts in his head, but he was an artist. They do that, you know?
I mean, I don't know what feminine thoughts you're talking about, so I don't know if I haven't gotten there yet. But
he also had a lot of masculine thoughts going through his head, and a lot of I don't know if it's callousness because he was supposed to be a psychopath, but he was believable as a male character, and he didn't have a lot of thoughts that you're like, where did that come from? You know? She explained herself.
So he stalks her. Mm-hmm. He watches her go
professionally.
out. Professionally stalks her. Watches her go out on a date. That date ended poorly. Because of trauma.
Yeah.
And then
And that was another cool thing about his character. I liked his character okay. I don't know if anybody else did. I liked his character okay because excuse me. It's like
something is happening. That's
all right. I'll go deal with
it. It's like big happening.
Okay, all right.
Otherwise, I wouldn't stop what I'm doing. I always drink like a whole pot of tea before bed now. I'm listening to what's happening upstairs. I don't know if you all can hear it, but I can hear it. But I don't know. The next set of books I think we're going to do, after we do There Are No Saints, I think it might be Psycho Shifters. Psycho Shifters.
You just sit in silence while I'm up there chastising the boys?
No, I talked about Psycho Shifters for a second.
Oh no, I'll pop it.
Ooh.
Did I script the camera?
Yeah, you did.
I wasn't expecting to go off in a roll.
Go on.
Is it back?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I like sat down and the whole chair just went that way.
Goodbye!
Alright, so where were we?
So he's like, I have to know if she recognizes me.
Yeah.
I have to know. And sets up the space to do it.
Yeah, that was part of it too. He didn't want to get caught, and she'd been where she had been to like his area.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was either going, I think at that point he had every intention of killing her at some point, or unaliving her.
I'm not sure he still doesn't. I mean, from my perspective, again, I'm not as far as you.
I wasn't sure at the end of the book that he wasn't going to still.
So, what gets me? So he sets up this like elaborate plan. So she'll have a studio in one of his buildings, so he can arrange a meetup. And she's like, then she is told that there's this panel looking at the art to give away a scholarship or give away a grant. And she...
And I think that at that point he also appreciated her potential.
I hasn't, to this point, talked about him seeing her art at all.
Yeah. Has he gone in her room?
He went to her room and saw her basic sketches, and he was like,
that's all he needed.
I mean, I guess from an artist standpoint, that would make sense. Yeah. Well, from a reader standpoint, I was like, he hasn't seen it yet.
If you got good shapes, then there's potential there to have good art. But if you don't have good shapes in your art, and good proportions in your art, then you got a ways to go. I'm not saying that you aren't ever going to be a good artist, but you're just not. You got years ahead of you. This
is what made me. This is where I was finally like, oh, I want to keep reading this book. As she reels off the names, I turn to face the panel of artists, most of whom I have at least heard of before. My eyes slide across the 5 faces before landing on the last of the man I have been wanting to meet, my benefactor, Cole Blackwood. The room tilts with a sickening jerk. That face was burned into my brain, never to be forgotten. Shaggy dark hair, silvery skin, a soft, sensual mouth. Why are mouths always sensual?
Huh?
Have you ever looked at a mouth and thought it was sensual?
Yeah, you have it.
I guess it's not
That's because you're looking at dudes most of the time.
This is her describing it. Anyway,
Yeah.
eyes blacker than sin. This man stood over me. This man left me to die. I'm frozen in place. Literally frozen, cold, stiff, petrified. It feels like 20 minutes pass. Maybe it's only a moment because Cole says smoothly, "Nice to finally meet you, Mara. How are you getting along in this space?" The silence ticks by. Several panel members shift in place. Finally, I rasp out, "Fine, good, thank you." Thank you? What the fucking fuck? I was like, yes! Yes!
Guess what?
I was like, because her reaction wasn't to immediately fucking yell. It wasn't immediately to call him out. Because I think that's a fight or flight response. That's a fight or flight response, and she did the froze. Fight, flight, or frozen. She froze.
I think that made it very interesting for her as a character.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to give a disclaimer at this point that there's going to be, I'm going to give a lot of speculations in these books that are just straight out of my butt.
Okay.
Because the author may have not even considered that. And it's just like any other thing.
Well, I mean it's your perspective,
review,
yeah.
Yeah, you leave a lot of things to the readers. And I do that sometimes when I write. I'll be like talking about stuff. I do it a lot when I DM. I do it every time I DM. That like I'll say something and then like Rachel will pick up on it.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll be like, and then this might happen, and then this, and this might happen, and wouldn't it be cool if like this was what was going on the whole time? And then I'm like, yeah, that's super canon. Yeah,
right. You're just like done.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times your readers will do the writing for you.
Yeah.
If you leave enough space to do it.
But this. Why am I thanking him? He saw me squirming on the ground like a dying bug, and he walked right over me. He's staring at me now in precisely the same way. Face cold, eyes bright, the corner of that beautiful mouth quirked up as if he wants to smile.
Are you still on camera? Accident kicked it?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead, sorry.
This fucking maniac is doing it all over again. He's watching me squirm and he's loving it. She knows he's fucked.
That's loud on
She knows. And
you know the coolest part about it is like you might find out. It occurred to me at that moment, but it occurred to me more later as they explained like the way that her mind works. That she knew for a fact that this guy was at least a psycho.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Yeah.
May have tried to unalive her.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't know yet. Very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But she's still not willing to give up her studio and her. Yeah.
That
kind of gives you like some insight into like the mind
priorities
of a woman's priorities. I feel like that's a lot of times that's why women will stay in an abusive relationship.
Yes. Yeah.
Because the juice is worth the squeeze. They'll willing to put up with the abusive relationship because they have a comfortable lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Or that person is directly related to
I think
a benefit.
Maybe not abusive relationship. I think what we're looking for is like maybe
at least it applies.
Or like it
applies.
Lackluster relationship.
Yeah.
You could say something like that.
Guys really aren't like that usually. Usually, guys aren't like that.
Women will make excuses to stay, I think.
Yeah, if a guy brings something to the table, a woman can talk herself into staying. Guys aren't like that. If a woman doesn't bring anything to the table, that's why they get gone so quick. That's why guys are just like hit it and quit it, because they knew from the very beginning that this person wasn't bringing wifey material to the table. And even if she was rich, even if she was sweet, even if she was like...
I mean, you kind of know what you're looking for when you're looking.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it doesn't take long to kind of feel someone out.
But, like, a woman, I feel like their brains are calculative in that situation where they're just like... They're weighing the pros and cons in real time.
Yeah.
where a guy, he may be in a relationship for months before it even occurs to him what the pros and cons of his relationship are, because he knew what the pros and cons were at the beginning. He knew what they were at the beginning, but as far as like, does this woman know how to balance her checkbook? Is this woman going to be kind to me? Is this woman going to support me? Is this woman going to be able to raise children?
Right.
That doesn't even cross our mind until we're so far into it that you're probably already willing to take the relationship to the next level, and it's then when we're given like an ultimatum, like, man, are we gonna go steady, or is this just like
move in together?
Yeah, or is this gonna happen? And then when you're like presented with the possibility of either leaving at some point or sticking around, that's when we start calculating pros and cons. Whereas women, they're checking boxes from the get-go, from the very beginning.
You're like, I don't like the way he chews. Yeah. Done. Yeah.
Did he just fart? Nope.
Nope. Got the ick.
Yeah, I got the ick. And that's part of what the ick is. You guys are calculating if somebody is a keeper from the very beginning of your interaction with them, whereas we aren't doing that usually.
You know what it might be for that, though, is because it only takes one time. It takes one tiny itty bitty sperm to get us locked into something for 18 years with a mother.
We're locked in too, hopefully. I was.
You are. But you're drinking tequila.
Tequila from a bottle.
God, the thought makes me want to throw up.
I didn't chase that because I'm a badass.
Oh gosh. So here's I read this last sentence and I was like, anyone who's reading along with me and is only reading the chapters that we have set to read.
Yeah. And you know what? This might be a cool thing with like, okay, everybody read the chapters and then we'll talk about it in like.
Yeah.
The people who are going to follow you in this, they can hold off. They can, if they're capable of doing it. I know some women aren't capable. Some people aren't. I'm not.
I'm almost not capable of doing it. Only because this, it's good that I finished reading this today. Because if I would have read this like last week, I would have been done with it by now. I would have already been done with it.
We've been talking about the whole book.
What just happened? What just happened? What just happened? I should stay right here. I should keep my blanking mouth shut. Instead, I kick open the door and chase after Blackwell. That's where I finished this book today. And I was like, Bob Saget, what happens next? I need to know. Now you gotta
get in there and talk about it.
And now I need to know. And so, I don't know about you, but I plan on going live again on Thursday to talk about chapters 10 through 20.
Well, it's like...
Next 10 chapters, let's go.
There's a spot, I'm going to give a little bit of like, it's not going to be a spoiler. It's not going to be a spoiler.
Yes, it is. Yeah, yes, it is.
It's not going to be a spoiler. There's a part in this book that I specifically didn't like.
Okay.
And I want you, it's going to be like everybody's homework. Find the spot, and it's going to be blaringly obvious too. Find the spot in this book where I'm capable of going on a tirade about it, and then, but I'll let it go.
Does she become an unaliver? Oops.
It didn't have anything to do with that.
Oh, but it does happen. That was me guessing.
No, I'm not going to give you spoilers for that. I'm not saying, I mean, aren't there sequels to this book?
There's one.
Okay. Is it a duet?
It's a duet.
Okay, so we can read the next one and find out if that happens. I see.
I'm just making a prediction
for her to be able to do that.
Based off of her growing, she's like, I get over it, but she's got this like underlying growing rage for the guy who kidnapped her, and the fact that she kept the piercings. That is, I think for me, that is a telltale sign that she is going to get revenge.
You know what I love in books that I hate in other books, and this is the distinction.
Love to hate?
I love in a book when you find out that she was messed up the entire time.
But I mean, you kind of knew that she was
all of her actions, like, I mean, I understand that there's a doorway that they walk through where they are exposed to a world that they've never seen before. and it like allows all the trauma that they have endured their entire life to finally surface, and it becomes useful to them instead of an issue.
Right.
Okay, I like that. I like it when they're like, she's like, wait a minute,
welcome to BDSM.
This guy is a psycho. Mm-hmm. I can use this. I think, what am I? I don't know. It's appealing to me, and you know why? Because we've got a backstory that supports that. What I don't like is somebody who has no backstory that supports that, no reasoning behind it, weren't even that way and didn't want to be. Now, if it's good writing, I can deal with it. But if there's no reasoning for it, I can't deal with it. It's just bad. To me, it's just bad writing.
Bad writing. Well, I don't know. I guess we'll find out because it's gonna be.
I know.
You know.
I know.
Because it'll be chapters.
And I would love for some people who have read the book from cover to cover already. A lot of people are doing audiobooks on this one.
Are they?
Yeah, it slows people down. I'm not gonna crap on people for doing audiobooks because these are trying times.
I feel
like if they can get it in where they can fit it in, that they're doing good.
I feel like that should be something we top on maybe at another time, like the stigma between when you do audiobooks you're not actually reading a book.
People look at people who listen to audiobooks on a very two-dimensional level, and they only look at it at an academic level, and they don't take into consideration the human aspect of why they do that.
Right.
Because a lot of people are like, well, listening to an audiobook is the same thing as just watching a movie. You're not really reading it. But you have to take into consideration that a lot of these women that are in this book club are mothers and have full-time jobs.
Yeah. when you can find the time. You know how hard it was for me to read the 10 chapters I had today? Yeah. Just trying to get the boys to leave me alone for 5 seconds?
She had to I was like, where the hell did she go? And then I was like, and she'd been down here for a couple of hours. And then I realized, well, she's trying to read this damn book. And so I sat up there and took a nap and whatever, watched the boys. But, to find especially if you're still working and you still got kids, and women are a lot more susceptible to distractions than men are, because I'll sit there and let them beat themselves in the head while I read my book and not give a rat's ass. But a woman, I was just talking about this with somebody else today, women notice things that guys don't notice, and they stop behaviors that guys don't stop, and they clean things that guys don't clean, and their normal day with a child or with a work or with whatever, it's way more distracting because they're paying more attention.
Yeah.
And it's cool for me to sit up there, and I'll just sit up there and read a book and let them play a video game and let them piss on the floor or make a mess or whatever, because I have decided that I'm going to read this book. Most women can't do that. Most women, they see something going down and they have to stop.
Because if not, it is my responsibility at that point to have to fix it. Because you might not give a shit that they've dumped all their toothpaste all over the counter, but you're not the one who's cleaning it up. It's going to be me.
Sometimes I am. But that's the difference between me and you, is that I'm willing to deal with the repercussions. You're going to try to stop it before it takes place.
Because 9 times out of 10, I'm the one dealing with the repercussions.
Usually, yeah. Yeah. But what happens a lot of times is, like, I don't even notice the repercussions. I'll just okay, well, I don't notice what they've done. I don't notice that they did it. I'm sitting here reading my book. I'll go on my merry way. I'll never notice it.
Yep.
I'll get something to eat, go to bed. The next day I'll wake up, and then I'll walk in the bedroom, and the dog has chewed a diaper up on the bed. Whereas you would have been sitting there reading your book, and you would have seen the dog heading into the bedroom, and you'd be like, nope.
I would have heard the dog getting into the trash. I would have heard the twins doing this. I would have heard of...
And I'm not trying to generalize and dump everybody into the same...
I don't think you're... at some point, though, that it is what it is. Could there be exceptions to that? Absolutely.
Always
yeah,
are. Yeah,
sure. But in a general sense, no,
Yeah.
there's not. I'm sorry. And you know what? Cricket and I had a conversation with Pat about this, like, last month. Because I asked him, I said, when's the last time you scrubbed the shower, Pat? When's the last time you cleaned the bathroom from beginning to end?
Because it's not as important to us as it is you. It's just not. We'll let a bathroom get dirty, get mold on it. It's just not as important. Getting to work on time is important to us. Not getting in a wreck is important to us.
Mm-hmm.
Protecting our family is important to us. Taking a shit is usually pretty high on my list.
It's like the top tier. Yeah.
But like scrubbing the grout in the bathroom, that's at the bottom. That's the least of my worries.
Making sure the boys have socks.
Yeah, making sure the boys have socks. I'll go out there and fix your tire.
That's true. You will.
And like I'll make sure that your oil's changed and stuff like that, because that is high on my list. Because it's like we have a hierarchy of catastrophic failure, whereas you guys, you kind of like put everything on the same level of importance. But we have a hierarchy of catastrophic failure. If my house burns down, I'm going to pay attention to it.
But that's the thing, is that you view it as this hierarchy of catastrophic. But it's, for us, it's like everything is building up. Everything is this like tiny stepping stone.
Yeah, one little thing after another. But if you consider it from my perspective, that if the kids put toothpaste on the mirror in the bathroom, it's not going to make your car not run. It's not going to make it so you can't get to work. It's not going to burn our house down. It's not going to kill the dog. And that's the kind of stuff that we're paying attention to. Things that are dangerous, things that are going to have a serious impact on our quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
And because those are the things that when it happens, we're directly responsible for it. Because when you're broke down on the side of the road, you can't get your lug nuts off. Who's going to fix it?
Apparently, 3 men.
3 men? Yeah, 3 men before me. 3 men before me. But the buck stops with me in situations like that.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that as a mom and as a woman with a full-time job and things of that nature, it is frustrating when you're like, I understand that you are responsible for fixing the tire and you're responsible for. Is
it a cop-out? Yes, sure is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's a cop-out.
But it's like, I know just tonight, we're going to get to this. It's already 10:14. I've got a big day at work tomorrow. Yeah. But I'm the one who has to make sure I know where the boys' clothes are and their shoes are and their socks and where the backpack is and who has to call the doctor tomorrow and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. None of that is your responsibility.
You're right.
And it's like, unless I say to you, please go put Parker's shoes on, it's going to take you way too long to realize that I need you to put his shoes on. And that's just
that's all relative too, because I'll put his shoes on when I feel like it's time to put his shoes on, not when you want to put his shoes on. It's all relative. It's all relative. Because when I look at something, I'm like, that's eventually going to happen before we leave. When you look at something, you're like, that has to happen right now.
Because that's what we're doing right now.
That's what you're doing right now.
No, it's what we're doing right now.
You're doing right now.
It's what the orchestrator of this morning is figuring out.
You choose to include me in it.
Well, good thing you're the one taking them to daycare tomorrow.
Am I?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
That's trash.
And that's
trash.
It's not trash.
It's not fun at all.
Okay, well,
I don't enjoy it.
You saw what I did today, dragging them out of bed.
I'd like to talk about Mo, but I don't want to, like, that's the tea.
That's her own thing.
Yeah, that's her tea.
That's her tea. She can talk about that when she's here.
But that's the kind of stuff that, like, I feel
we're thinking about you, Mo.
That's like the type of thing that I consider important. And that I won't miss, and I won't screw up.
No. We get your car towed.
Yeah. I'm going to share that, even though it makes me look really stupid. Like, I woke up at like 5:30 this morning, and I got up and I pseudo helped her get ready and got the boys ready. And because I was going to go deal with this stuff with Mo, and I got there at like 6, and I parked in a parking garage, and I parked in the lower level, and I walked in, and this is what screwed me up. I parked in the lower level. I walked in the doors, and then I walked right back out because I forgot my vape, and I walked back to the car, and I got my vape, and then I walked back in the doors, and then I kind of committed it to my memory that I was on the level that you walk in the doors.
Right, and
at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I realized I was on the wrong floor, so I took the stairs up.
Right.
And so when I came back out the doors on the second floor, I thought that my car was parked outside, and it wasn't. And I looked for it, and I was like, and then I went down. This is another part that got me. I walked down to the area where my car would have been parked, and it had a expecting mothers only sign there.
Right.
And I was like, crap, my car got towed.
And that's the text message I received at work. I think my car got towed, and I'm like.
And then I went back in. I was like, I think my car got towed, and the chicks behind the counter were like, dude, if your car got towed, we know because we'd be the ones towing it. Nobody's car got towed today. Could you have left it on another level? And then it like clicked in my head. I was like, oh crap! I came upstairs to get up here.
Meanwhile, I'm at work being like, mother. Like, how could you fucking park somewhere? Like, there's so much parking.
I have never. Well, it was dark. It was dark, and that sign wasn't lit, and it was small, and it wasn't there because I didn't park.
But yeah,
there.
because you didn't.
But the fact that it was dark, dark, and I couldn't really see. I thought that I had just not seen it.
I'm like Googling how much does it cost to get your
that's
car
another thing.
from.
I was like,
oh.
I've never in my life had my car towed. I don't know where it's at. I don't know how much it costs to get it out.
In case you're wondering, between $150 and $600. So don't do it.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be expensive.
Oh
Those things are cheap. I was like, great. I'm going to try to leave here, and I'm not going to be able to.
And then he just sends me, never mind.
Never mind. I'm an idiot. I parked on the wrong floor.
And I'm like, oh my god, thank God. Thank God the car didn't get towed.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I was like, oh, that's such a win. But it was just all in my head, me being stupid from the very beginning.
Take that W when you can.
Are we done talking about this?
I think we are. We are going to go ahead and we did chapters 1 through 10. We will go and do chapters 10 through 20 on Thursday. Or I will. If you're here, you will too.
And this is going to be posted, right?
Yeah,
so we need to, like, go through the whole, like, if you have any comments, leave them below.
Yeah, question, comments, concerns, add them below. You can like and subscribe. Yeah. We'll be posting about 3 times a week.
Hopefully.
On spilling my usual tea.
Which is an innuendo.
Innuendo!
If you concentrate on it.
That's a shirt I need.
Innuendo?
Or no, spilling my usual tea.
We're going to let Mo, like, work on the logo a little bit, and then I'll make a shirt. Because that's another thing that you haven't mentioned yet.
What, that Mass made my logo?
No, that Sneaky Wink has an Etsy store.
That Sneaky Wink does have an Etsy store.
Did you mention your shirt?
I did. I did mention my shirt. This is the OG original.
I have a backstory for that, okay? I have made probably, I want to say 300 designs on this Etsy store, and I either do the graphic design on those myself, or I hand draw them myself. This is one of the ones that I hand drew. Okay. In fact, this specific design is the absolute first design that I ever designed.
Yep, this started it. This started our Etsy store. That
started the Etsy store.
Sneaky Wink.
And I tell you what, it is by far the biggest seller on the site. For every one other item I sell about 10 of those. And it was the first bumblefuck design that I ever came up with. And it's pretty popular. I also had somebody ask me, in case anybody's interested, leave comments below. I had somebody ask me if I could make that with a skeleton hand instead of a woman's hand, and I did. I haven't posted it, But if anybody's interested in having that design with a skeleton hand instead of a woman's hand, I like the woman's hand because it seems more feminine.
Yeah.
It seems a little bit more on the nose in the reader community. The skeleton hand seems a little more gothy to me, and a little bit less true to the genre. But anyway, yeah, they're available. So if somebody likes the design but would prefer to have a skeleton hand instead of a woman's hand, it exists. I can show it to you, and if enough people ask for it, then I'll put it on the site. Actually, if anybody asks for it,
it's going on the site.
Yeah.
So
I don't take much motivation. I'm kind of an Etsy whore.
You can either get on Etsy and look up Sneaky Wink, or if you just Google
it's Sneaky Wink, all one word. .etsy.com.
You'll get to our Etsy store where he sells merch.
Yeah.
So
and I try. What I'll do is I'm not like just in it for the lols. I'll if I have an item on there or a shirt on there, it's because I've read that genre and I've read that book.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm just like trying to capitalize on women reading smut. It's like everything on there. If you see it and you recognize it, I've read it, and that's why it exists.
That's why it's there. So, yeah, we will be spilling some tea about There Are No Saints again on Thursday.
Okay. At some point, I'd like to go with. I know it's a little bit dated at this point because they've already come out with Brimstone. But at some point, I don't feel like we ever got to truly explore Quicksilver.
Oh no, we didn't. That's kind of what started. That's what started us wanting to do the book group, is because we both read it and really enjoyed it, and then we started to talk about it, and you're like, no spoilers, and I fucking lost my mind.
Yeah, we got into other separate argument.
We got into a big old.
We got in kind of like a husband and wife marital argument that shut the whole thing down. I don't know if anybody,
that video got quickly deleted.
I don't know if anybody's ever seen like
I don't think it exists.
Jessica on a live, but she gets very personal very quick, and I'm like, baby, we are on the internet.
Woo!
Let's just shut it down. And so we shut it down. So we never really got to explore Quicksilver, and at the time it was new, and we didn't want to give any spoilers. But the second book's out.
The second book's out now.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what this is. This is going to be a vlog, post, whatever, of spoilers. I just spoiled the very beginning of There Are No Saints.
But you know what? How long's it been out? 2 or 3 years?
There Are No Saints.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably. But I'm willing to do it on the new books. Like, Between Two Kings came out last year, at the end of last year. Yeah. You know?
We really, if we're going to be doing that, we really need to let people know at the very beginning of every single episode that you do that there are spoilers in this. We're going to be talking about everything in depth, and if you want to be surprised by the things that happen in the book, then you need to not watch this yet, because we're going to be talking about things that are definitely going to ruin
plot
the experience.
twists, all the things.
But we need to make sure that, like, you might even want to put it in like the title whenever you put it in, spoilers, because that's like one of the worst things you can do is like ruin a book for somebody before they even get started on it.
Yeah. I did on one thing. If it's saved, I don't know at this point, because the beginning of this was so hectic, and the next one might begin the same way depending on what happens.
We can put it in the title, spoiler alert, and then we can like mention it at the beginning whenever we start. That you know there's going to be spoilers in this. If you don't want spoilers in this book and you'd like to read it and enjoy it without any of this insight,
and then come back later,
read it and come.
Which is fine.
Come back later.
And that's one of the reasons why I have. We've got a spilling my usual tea TikTok. We've got an Instagram. I get on there. I'm posting what chapters we're reading. I'm posting what book we're reading. So you have.
And she can also, like, if she's wearing something or see. Oh, you want to go grab bookmarks that I've been working on?
You can.
Like, I'm dabbling in sublimation. I've found that a lot of the items that are on my print on demand Etsy store are not really the quality that I'd like to see. And so I'm going to start doing some of that stuff myself. Mm-hmm. And so I've been learning how to sublimate and make it on a level that people would actually want to buy. Right. And this week we're doing bookmarks. So and also another thing, It took me a minute to figure out how to do it. So there are a lot of like slightly imperfect bookmarks that we're
Scratch
like,
and dent.
yeah, we're totally willing to give those to people.
Yeah.
We'll just give them to you because I can't sell them, and I'm not greedy. So yeah, if you see a bookmark that I'm getting ready to bring over here that you like, know that there's probably one that's like slightly off color.
Yeah.
That I can't sell that you can have. So if you want to comment and say I want this bookmark, I will put it together for you. If you want to swing by, if you want to pay shipping on it, I'll ship it to you, and it'll be free. Okay. So let me go grab it. Knock the camera over.
The good thing is my camera and my desk aren't attached, so.
Oops, sorry.
That didn't change anything for me.
Okay.
But we try to give, circling back now, we try to give a lot of disclaimers of what book we're reading, when we're reading it, and what the time frame is in between the videos, so you have time to either read those books or you know what to expect and when you can tune into them yourself. We'll have them posted and everything like that. So here are these bookmarks.
Yeah, these are I designed.
They're metal.
All of these. These are all designed by me. And these are all one-sided. They have a metal back. But I just ordered some double-backed ones if anybody wants to wait for the ones that say something on both sides. But if you want one of these, we've got some that are slightly off color. Or maybe have a scratch on it.
There's like a few things.
Or if you want one that's brand new, at some point it's going to be on the Etsy store. So just wait in wings and they'll show up.
No, there it goes. That'll.
Lighting on it's horrible.
Well,
but it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to pitch some things too hard. I'm just I'm proud of these, so check them out. Can't read that at all, baby. Or maybe I'm just in a weird angle.
You're at a weird angle, and I'm trying to get.
That was actually that slogan there, that quote there was something that Jessica she came up with it in her sleep. I was sitting there. I was like, what should I put on these bookmarks, baby? And I said something about slow burn, and she's like, "Fuck slow burn."
Don't remember this conversation.
And then so I was like, "Yeah, okay." So I made one that's like a ripped cover on a book, and it's just this "fuck slow burn" on it. And I made it, and then I brought it to her and I showed it to her. I was like, "Look at this bookmark that we designed, baby." And she's like, "Fuck slow burn." Like she never, it didn't come out of her mouth.
I don't remember that conversation. Couldn't tell you. Never happened. I wasn't there for it. So yeah, there's all the things that we're doing. I hope that if you stumble upon this and you do not know us in person, that you decide to stick around and see what happens. But yeah, we'll be coming back hopefully on Thursday. That's the plan, at least, to go over chapters 10 through 20. Hopefully by the time I get through chapter 20, I don't want to just finish the book. There are 32 chapters in this book. So the goal is to do it... Or no, there's 26 chapters.
I feel like you should...
No, that's the soundtrack.
I think you should finish it and then decide whether or not you want to do 10 chapters at a time. Because a lot of these books have a lot of filler.
Yeah, that's true.
And so you're not going to be able to just cover a certain number of chapters every single time, because you're going to have a lot of redundant chapters in it that are just specifically for smut. And up until this point here in this book, we didn't even broach the topic. There is no smut.
No, there hasn't not been any interludes. But yeah, there's 32 chapters in this book. I think for this one, for this week, since we're first starting out, I will just do at least chapters 10 through 20 on Thursday. That gives you a day to read 10 chapters. Day, 2 days, depending on what you're doing or what time it is where you are right now. And then, as we move forward, because by the time we get done with There Are No Saints, we still won't have another book for Sneaky Wink picked. I would like to then do Psycho
Psycho
Shifters
Shifters.
by
Yeah.
Jasmine Maz.
I'm really kind of like, yeah, she's the same one that did Blood of Hercules,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a topic that I was going to bring up because I've read it already.
So,
And so we're both reading the next book. There's a lot
Not
of
yet.
a lot
I
of
haven't read the next
similarities
book.
between those two books that I wanted to talk about. But it's like one of those books of like, is it prose? No, it's not.
no.
Is it fun to read? Yes, it is.
So,
It's the same thing with like most of Moss's books.
if you want to get ahead and you know what's coming up in one of our next videos, it's going to be Psycho Shifters by Jasmine Maz. It's free on Kindle Unlimited. You can get an audiobook version of it that is available. So, and I mean, or you could buy it. It just depends on whatever kind of platform you prefer to read on. We both have read it. We will deep dive into it, but when we do deep dive into it, it'll be the entire book.
Yeah.
So it'll be a longer video.
It's not a long book. It's only like 250 pages.
Yeah, it's pretty short. So that's coming up. It won't be this week. So you have a week or so to finish it, depending on how much you read. But on that note, we are gonna sign off. And we'll see everyone again soon. And if you see us pop on randomly, we're probably testing equipment.
Or I'm being random. Sometimes I'm random.
Or sometimes you're random.
Yeah, definitely pay attention because sometimes I do random stuff. Like, because I have a tattoo shop also.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I'll like want to do something that like promotes Sneaky Wink, or I want to do something that promotes a tattoo shop, or I want to do a promotion of whatever. And I like to give things away a lot more than I like to sell them. I've realized. I've had
I'm well aware of
chomp
that.
back on that a lot. It is much more satisfying for me to give somebody a gift than it is for me to make money off of them. And I find myself like, somebody will order something on Sneaky Wink, and I'll be like, I don't know, they just paid a lot of money for that, and I want to make sure they get what they want, and I kind of want to surprise them. So I'm gonna give them a sticker. I'm just gonna give them a sticker and then tell them this for some bullshit reason, just because I like to give things away. And for like on a business, Jessica's like, I don't like to give things away. But it's in my nature, and the reason why I said that is because if we pop back on, you need to get on there, because I might be there just for the strict purpose of giving something away.
Yep.
And if you're the first one to comment, or the 10th comment, or however we decide to do it,
whatever it is,
it might behoove you to get on there and get the stuff. And we're done, right? Sorry.
No, you're good. So, like, comment, share, interact with the video.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, this might go nowhere. We might just be talking into the nether.
I'm kind of hoping it doesn't, because there's a lot of complications, a lot of crap that comes along with it becoming popular. I was kind of, man, why?
I don't know. Do they still have access
I like
to
sitting
TV?
here and talking and having just like people that we know.
Which is what
That
we thought
doesn't
this
bother
was
me at
initially.
all. But if it gets popular, cool. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But it's like a little.
I
There's
think
like some comfort in knowing that you're not under a spotlight. You know.
that's true. For this, it's just gonna be. We're streaming on new platforms. This is not Facebook Live. So if you have popped into this video, I know Tanya did, I know Rachel did, share it. That way everyone else in the group can find it. And we will see you guys at 8:30 on Thursday. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can get over here to the other screen and stop streaming. Good night.